No idea. But welcome
I found
everyone.
out Facebook's changed Facebook's having a problem they're fixing. So we will be able to live stream again soon. I found
Okay,
out.
awesome. Well, welcome everyone to the Fast to Flourish Challenge kickoff call. This is great news here. We're going to be kicking off tomorrow morning our 14-day fasting challenge. I don't know if you saw in the news, and if everyone could mute, that'd be amazing. And then we'll do some shares. I don't know if you guys saw the news, but in Canada on our CTV News, we have a little runner that goes across the bottom, and it said 40% of Canadians have gained weight during COVID. And I'm pretty sure that in the US it's similar. So 40% of people have gained weight during COVID, and probably because, you know, we're staying home more and we're more sedentary. We're watching a lot more Netflix. We're not getting out. We're not socializing. We're not putting on our dress pants. And so we're living in a different time. And what I love about fasting is it's such a simple, free life hack for people that you can use to lose weight, to feel good. In fact, I'm going to read off what fasting does for you, and then we're going to jump into this. So I'm going to pull out my new book on fasting. And for those who are curious, here's what intermittent fasting, and when you use Cleanse for Life with isogenics, it can accelerate this even more. But number one, it makes your body burn body fat. It helps to heal your gut. It provokes self-cleaning in the body, which is autophagy and detoxifying. It reduces your risk of almost every single chronic disease. Who would like their risk of chronic disease to be reduced? Thank you very much. Give those cells a chance to clean up, do a deep clean, and get rid of the waste, right? Causes your body to produce more stem cells, right? Beautiful. Reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes by improving insulin sensitivity. As we get older, we don't respond the same way as we do to insulin, right? And so you can improve that. You can improve that. Reduce your cravings, slows aging from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, that's the rust. Think of it as the rust in your body, and we can really slow that down. We can reduce inflammation in the brain and with your love handles. Inflammation in the brain, guys, we're aging longer and we want to have healthy, sharp, smart brains. And fasting can help that. Boosts your emotional state and builds self-confidence. Guys, we all need to boost our hormones, our feel-good hormones, right? Improves your relationship with foods, and it allows you to enter a spiritual and meditative state. Guys, think about this. If you were going to be hunted down by a lion, would you rather have the lion that had just had a big, heavy, juicy meal, or would you rather have the lion that was hungry? You want, right? You would want the heavy, sedated lion after you because they're not as sharp, they're not as hungry, they're not as fierce, right? And so many of us have spent years walking around like that overfed lion, lethargic and slow. And when you fast and when you allow your brain to run on the fuel that's already on your body instead of carbohydrates and sugar, you are going to be fierce like that lion. You're going to have sharp senses. You're going to be wide awake. You're going to be bells firing. Give it a little shake if you guys have fasted and found that you are like cleaning your house like a crazy person. Like you're getting into stuff that was on your to-do list and you are like, what is going on? But Mama's on a mission here. Get out of the way, you know? So that's number one, why we fast. And then we're going to get into how to do it. So Camille, I want to bring you out. Camille's one of our partners here. She's a registered nurse and she's worked with hundreds, probably thousands of women through healthy aging, sexuality. What else can you tell us about the benefits of fasting, Camille?
Well, you've mentioned so many of the great ones. I'd say a little bit more around hormones, which is, my favorite thing to talk about. Human growth hormone, I think you mentioned, gets jacked up almost 5 times as much. And we start to drop our human growth hormone, ladies, when we're like around 35. And that's the hormone that really is part of that energy and stamina and joie de vivre, kind of that vitality. So anything that we can do to get the human growth hormone up, and fasting, intermittent fasting will do that. The other one is it really helps with our 2 hunger-based hormones, ghrelin and leptin. You may have heard of those. And they are in direct relation to our insulin. And because intermittent fasting and fasting has been shown hands down to be the excuse me, one of the best ways to have our insulin be properly balanced. And insulin directly affects our gremlin and our leptin. So I love always the interrelationship between, the science of how it works. But just know that by doing intermittent fasting, you actually tend not to wake up ravenous and starving, because your gremlin and your leptin are more balanced because you're not snacking at night with the insulin. So from a hormonal standpoint, Erin and everybody, I mean, really, this is fantastic. And indirectly, it's going to affect our feel-good hormone, as Erin said, our oxytocin, our cortisol, which is our foundation hormone that is so important. So I think you can know that you're doing your body a really good thing. And 2 other quick things to add is that if you find the 16-8 is just you're not feeling great, by all means try like 15 hours of fasting, 9-hour eating window. Women with hormones, we have to play with it. I mean, it really is how you feel. But give yourself a bit of time to adjust, because it does take a little bit of time.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Well, we're excited because this is a really simple way to break through a plateau, to really move gently into some weight loss and transformation. And like what Camille said, I want you guys to make this your own, because every body is different. But I really want you to take to heart what Camille said. If you really focus, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to talk about your eating window, especially focusing on, like, a lot of people can skip breakfast, but guys, we're going to really look at that ending eating window. And when that eating window closes at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, or whenever you decide that eating window closes, I'm going to challenge you to dig deep. I'm going to challenge you to really commit to that. You will find the mornings easier, and you will probably notice, wow, I had no idea how much I was eating at night. So that's our very first step. And I'm just going to share my screen here. So bear with me for a moment here. Can you guys see this little clock here? Okay. So we're going to be following the 16-8 approach now. And that means that what we're going to be doing is, sorry, sharing screen. I should have put this into a PowerPoint. So what is this going to look like for us? We're going to be doing a couple components. Let me give you the big overview first. Number 1, we're going to be changing the timing of our eating. Okay. Number 2, we're going to be walking every day. We're going to invite you to walk every day at least 5,000 steps. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then we're also going to be inviting you to practice gratitude. So first of all, with the walking challenge of 5,000 plus steps a day, it really gets your lymphatic system going, which really helps the body with flushing out your toxins. So what's going to happen when you're eating in this shortened eating window? Your body is not going to have access to the glucose and the carbs and the things that it normally does. So it has to dig into some body fat. And as your body's doing that, there's something called autophagy, where your cells kind of get a cleanup and the waste is removed, right? And just to dig into the energy in your cell, the byproduct is some of this waste is going to be leaving your body, right? Our Cleanse for Life is going to help remove that by 27%. It increases your autophagy and it increases your results. So you can use the Cleanse for Life, but the walking really helps flush things out. So we don't want you sitting, we want you walking 5,000 steps a day or more, okay? So here's what a typical day of eating looks like. You're gonna set your eating window. And now we've test driven a couple of apps, but what is actually probably the easiest and most simple is just use the timer on your iPhone or your smartphone. I'm pretty sure most people have it. So what that looks like for me is it's 11:09. I haven't eaten today, but I'm going to go into the one that looks like a clock, and I'm going to click on my clock, and I'm going to press alarm. And I'm going to create an alarm to start at 11 a.m. every day. I get to label it, and I'm going to label it something fun like open up the eating window or time to eat or something. I can put emojis in there, and every day, bing, it'll come up at 11 a.m. and party time or eating time. And that's my trigger to eat. I'm also going to set an alarm on here. There's a plus sign for eating window closed, 7 p.m. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to use your phone because you might forget, right? When you try something new, you might forget. And what you could do, find an accountability partner in this group and text them at 7 o'clock and say, eating window closed, right? Or eating window opened. If you want that accountability, find somebody. Okay. All right. So typical day. For those who are using the Isogenics program, we're going to get up, we're going to go on with our day. You are going to maybe do your walk in the morning. Doing a fasted workout is great, increases your growth hormone, uses more body fat. I wouldn't start an aggressive fitness program, something new, because it's going to increase your hunger. So just stick with what you're doing or adding in the walking. So you're going to get up. And for those who take supplements and vitamins, if you can, wait until you have some food. Okay, so unless you have to take medication that's prescribed, just hold off on your vitamins and whatnot. At 11 a.m., we're inviting you to open your eating window with our ionics and our cleanse. And our adaptogens, our ionics, as you guys know, the maca, the shilajit, all of those adaptogens really support the body with stress, mental clarity, physical stress, mental stress, and the serving of cleanse. And our cleanse for life, peach or berry, fantastic at breaking down and helping flush out those toxins and helping them remove them from the body. So start your eating window with an ounce of ionics, an ounce of cleanse down the hatcheroo, and then you can wait. If you want to wait until you feel physically hungry, go for it. But maybe you need to eat, so you can have your shake then. So for me, what I'm going to be doing is starting with my ionics and cleanse. Before that, I can have black coffee. I can have sparkling water. If you're really struggling, you could have bone broth. But we're going to invite you just to really try this. If 11 a.m. is too far, start your eating window at 10 a.m. Or if that's too far, start your eating window at 9 a.m. You decide, okay? So you get up, you have your cleanse and ionics, and you have a protein breakfast. And we recommend one of our shakes. You're going to get that protein pacing. So we want to be building lean muscle as we go. So, and then you're going to open up your eating window, and you can have your 2 meals, like your breakfast around 11, and you can have a second meal replacement later in the afternoon, and then a healthy dinner. Snacks are optional. If you feel like you need a snack, go for it. But really, in the fasting world, ideally you want to eliminate snacking and really just go to 2 to 3 solid meals and remove snacking. But that's up to you guys. You're moving towards that. So you might find that your lunch is a bit bigger. You might have a meal replacement, your shake and your ionics and cleanse, and don't eat again until you feel physically hungry. Okay. So do you guys want to add anything to that? And then again, your dinner, you definitely want to have some protein. Jen, do you want to add anything to that, or Camille?
The only thing I was going to add, people
Yeah.
are asking about collagen elixir, and I know there were questions about supplements and stuff like that, when to have it. The way you want to think about it is anything that would have calories you don't want to add until you are breaking your fast at 11 o'clock or 10 a.m. So if you wanted to take your supplements on an empty stomach in the morning, you could, but it is always recommended with most supplements that they're better absorbed with food. So if you can wait until you're going to have your shake, ideally, then you could take your supplements then. And I would say that is true also of the collagen elixir. It's there isn't sugar in it, but it's got I don't even know, it's very little calories, but it still has calories. So if you really want to be in an ideal world, just wait until you have the shake and then have all of those things.
Yeah. Jen, did you want to add anything?
I think we're just in the chat there. We're just clarifying that you're having 1 to 2 servings of the Cleanse for Life daily. So if you've ordered our lifestyle pack, then you'll have enough for 1 serving per day.
Yeah. And we had a friend, a former IsaBody finalist, who lost 80 pounds daily cleansing. 80 pounds, guys. Do not underestimate the power of doing the daily cleanse. And also your apple cider vinegar, your natural accelerator, you could take that at 11 as well. And that helps curb your hunger. It helps with some thermogenesis. And in the evening, your IsaFlush or IsaComfort, that really helps with elimination and toxins and storing toxins in our colon. So you want to keep that moving, the bentonite clay, the magnesium in there. So taking IsaComfort magnesium at bedtime really helps the peristalsis in your colon and keeping things moving along. Okay. We definitely we don't want to keep things being stuck, right? So your IsaComfort, your natural accelerator, your daily vitamins, omegas, whatever it is that you guys take, just take them in there. The other thing we wanted to address and talk about is our morning meditation. So we know that the value of meditation and gratitude in the morning. I'm sure all of you know that. I'm sure that it's a practice that you'd like to keep in your life and maybe start in your life. Right now, there's a lot of stress. So this is a wonderful thing for us to all be doing, is focusing on gratitude. So Jen is going to be doing some gratitude meditations, talk about that. And then in my group, the Power to Transform, we have this fasting challenge in a couple different groups. In the Power to Transform, there's morning meditations posted every morning by Mary Major. So when you get up, there will be a sample meditation. If you're in the New Way to Age or Jen's group, tell us what they're going to get there, Jen. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah. Yeah, so same as that, this group, as well as our Optimal Health group, I'll be doing a live guided meditation. I'll also be offering some tapping or emotional freedom technique, but I'm going to offer some different gratitude techniques. Camille will also be doing some guided visualization in our New Way to Age group. So we will be posting those the night before. So whatever time you get up in the morning, they'll be posted in the Facebook group under the guide tab under practices. It'll also show up right on the wall in the Facebook. So if you're not used to how the Facebook groups work, when you wake up in the morning, go to the wall of the Facebook group and you should see guided meditation. You can even use the search. There's a search box in Facebook, and we'll be tagging all of those with hashtag morning meditation, and then it'll sift through the wall and pull them all up for you. So if you're having trouble finding it, you can use that search box. But this is a really important practice for the next 14 days. And even if you already meditate or you pray or whatever kind of stillness practice you have, or maybe a stillness practice is brand new for you, it's not something you're not used to practicing, I highly recommend you plug into this. They're going to be less than 15 minutes. Some of them may only be 5 minutes. So set your alarms 15 minutes early, start your day 15 minutes earlier, and make time for this. They're designed for the beginner, so anyone can do these. And it really will help with your overall well-being, because starting anything new can create a little bit of anxiety. You may find that you're going to hit a wall some days. Some days are going to be harder than others. So this practice is what's going to help you focus on all the things that are going well, because it's really our brain is trained to focus on what's hard. and to go into that fear and anxiety and scarcity mode. So a gratitude practice is really great to just guiding us back to what's going well and all the things that are great, the abundance, the feel goods, all those things that are really great. So it's just going to help shift your focus, which is going to uplift your well-being, those feelings of success, those good feel good chemicals will start being released in your body. You'll also sleep better. You'll find your energy will be higher. This is also very good for your immune system. So just a simple 5 to 10 minutes a day, you're going to be supporting your immune system. And you'll probably notice throughout the day, you're a little kinder and a little more compassionate. So I highly recommend you to join us in these practices as well.
You know what's great, Jen, and I've worked with emotional eaters for, I don't know, 15 years. This really will help you with, if you are an emotional eater or a stress eater, you will notice that you have a little pause before you speak. Yeah, a little bit of a pause before you go for maybe a snack outside your window. So it really does create mindfulness and being able to live in the moment. So it's super, super practice to have. It goes hand in hand with the fasting. I was just looking for my next picture and I can't find it. So I'll just speak to tracking your walking. And thank you, Jen, for that, by the way. So that's going to be wonderful. We want you to track and find a way to measure your steps. Okay, so we really want you to set the bar. Okay, Beverly's got her watch. I have an Aura ring, which tracks my steps. Now, for many of us, 5,000 is going to be pretty easy. So set your own walking goal. But if you don't have a walking goal right now, or you've been pretty sedentary, at least 5,000 steps a day. If you're looking for next level, go to 10,000 to 12,000 steps a day. When you start getting into 12,000 plus steps a day, that's when you can really dig into some of that extra body fat, right? So, but do it, I would suggest in the morning, do a little walk in the morning and then adding a walk in the evening. So there's a lot of research out there that says walking after a meal actually reduces the glycemic load of your meal. So wouldn't it be neat if you started a new habit? There's a great book, it's called The Compound Effect. And this man, the author writes a story about these three husbands, these three men in the neighborhood. And one gets a new giant big screen TV and makes a man cave in the basement. So his new habit is after supper, he goes down by himself and sits in the man cave and watches his TV. The other guy, him and his wife make a plan that they're going to walk after supper every day. And I can't remember what the third guy did, but I do remember that the first two men, they said in a year, what's the end result? The guy who gets the big screen TV and watches TV in his basement every night, separated from his wife over a year, the compound effect was an extra 10, 15 pounds and a less intimate relationship. The guy who said, I'm going to walk every day for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes after supper. It's not a lot, but the compound effect of doing that every day over a year, they are both down 10 pounds more closely together. So don't underestimate a little baby step done over time. What we're hoping is by the end of this 14 days, that daily fasting can be one of your daily habits if you want to keep it. And that gratitude can be one of your daily habits that you might want to keep, and walking. Okay, so we're going to do a little thing, but we're going to compound it over time. Okay, so in your groups, expect to see recipes posted, fasting tips posted, the meditations, the walking. We'd love for you guys to, again, find your accountability partner, somebody that you can check in with. Here's a final list of tips for you, and then I'll take any questions. So can you see this? So we're going to make a decision to commit. Find an accountability partner to check in with, okay? So who's that person going to be? And you guys can be texting and checking in. Number 2, schedule your eating and fasting windows in your phone. Plan your meals ahead of time so you won't be tempted to overeat. This would be a great day to sit down and map out your dinners or your meals, and plan ahead, get your groceries, pull out the, whatever you need, whatever tools and groceries. Reduce snacking. We want to reduce a lot of little snacking through the day. Try to have protein at every meal. Set your alarm a little bit earlier, 20 minutes earlier in the morning, to make sure that you have time for the morning gratitude. And maybe you want to do your walk in the morning. So maybe you want to set your alarm for an hour earlier, and you can do a half an hour walk in your gratitude. You're going to aim to walk your 5,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And during that fasting window, guys, we want you to just consume water, black coffee, or sparkling water. One side note here, as you reduce, you're going to be reducing carbohydrates in your diet naturally. Your body is going to be requiring a little bit more sodium. So you can sprinkle in some sea salt into your water. So make sure that you're getting enough salt in your diet. That would be one thing. In your water, you could put in some pink Himalayan sea salt. And we want you to bring a curious mind and have fun. So treat this like a science experiment. I'm going to be tracking my sleep a lot more closely with my Oura ring. So I know that if I don't eat before sleeping, I have a much deeper sleep. So I want you guys to notice what's different. Like maybe you're sleeping better. Okay. Maybe when you finish your fasting window earlier, you're not as hungry in the morning. I don't know. Maybe your rings are getting looser. Maybe your joint pain is reduced, right? Maybe your sex drive goes up. I don't know. Like, do a science experiment, bring a curious mind. Let's see what you guys can do in 14 days. Okay. I've had a few people trialing this. Lynn can maybe jump out and share, but the average weight loss, if weight loss is your goal, is about 7 to 8 pounds from the people who are already eating well, already taking care of themselves, but really committing to that eating window. On average is about a loss of 7 to 8 pounds. So does anyone want to share anything like their results from doing a trial of this? Lynn, did you want to share? Yeah, jump out, unmute yourself. And you're already eating well and taking care of yourself.
Yeah, but last fall, my body went through an experience where my immune system had completely crashed. I was developing these infections from cuts that I couldn't get rid of. I was losing my fingernails, my hair. And I honestly, I thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I didn't know what was going on. Come to find out that my body was in crisis because of the immune system. So I like, what am I going to do besides the meds that the doctor was giving? So I just pumped in the Isogenics as hard as I could. I was faithful with every day. And so by the time I got my blood work back a few months later, everything was back up and running, but I wasn't feeling well enough. So I'd heard Erin had mentioned the 16-8. So I thought that's my next endeavor. And besides that, my body had gained excess weight despite going to the gym all the time. I couldn't control my body because it had gone into crisis. So the 16-8, probably within 6 weeks, I dropped 7 pounds. I think there's about 6-7 inches I lost. My bloating was completely gone. I'm starting to feel normal again, back to myself. I said, this is the way to go. Fasting is absolutely the way to go. And Isogenics has the ideal product that is going to support any endeavor that we take on. But I'd suggest that take this on, be faithful to it, and as the Erin and Camille are suggesting, and Jen, stay with the program exactly because it works. It worked for me. I'm feeling fantastic again, and my skin just smoothed out again, and now I'm starting to feel like I was back last summer. Anyway, that's my experience.
Beautiful. The bloating really is amazing, like healing the gut. So many people struggle with bloating and digestive distress, and really allowing your body the time to heal and repair is so important, Lynn. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you are glowing. Did anyone else want to share? Has anyone else played around with 16 and 8 and they want to share their results? Eve, go for it.
I've just been being kind to myself because I want to really be strict starting tomorrow. So I've just been trying to do it, like I've been really good about it starting at 11. And funnily enough, that's the hardest one part for me is starting at 11 because I never used to have breakfast. And then since I've been on isogenics, I've been having breakfast.
Mhm.
And I did a show on Friday, and I was just amazed at how bendy I was. Everybody who hadn't seen me for over a year, and they're all like, "You look amazing, you look fantastic. What are you doing?" And I started doing things with my fingers, and I'm like, I don't remember being able to do this like with no pain, and I put my leg up. So the flexibility,
Yes.
I was amazed. And so I guess my thoughts to the group are, be kind to yourself. And if, maybe one evening you maybe slip up, just be kind to yourself and say, well, I'll do better tomorrow. And that I still got results, even though I wasn't real strict, because, I'm just trying to edge into it.
Good idea, Eve. And I love that. And if you think of a sprained ankle, right? What happens with a sprained ankle? We've all, hopefully not, but most of us have sprained something. What's the first thing that you notice? Swelling,
Mm-hmm.
inflammation. And that's the part that hurts. I was explaining that to my daughter. I mean, it's the swelling, it's the inflammation, it's the fluid around your joint that's really hurting. And so when we fast, we reduce our inflammation. When we add in ionics and cleanse, we help reduce that inflammation and oxidative stress by 27%. So we feel more flexible, our fingers don't hurt. You're going to notice that. It's pretty cool. So, and you'll notice the inflammation out of your skin if you have a lot of redness and different inflammatory things. If you have autoimmune things that are caused by inflammation, we're going to be reducing inflammation. But Eve, what you were saying too, yeah, Christy, one sec. If you, let's say you have a mess up, let's say you break down, this is like my lab moose, right? He's all about the food, and he will go all day and not touch his little sister's dog dish. But every now and then company will come over and something happens. And all of a sudden, Mr. Moose gets all like, and he can't take it. He runs right to her little dish. It's so cute. And he'll just gobble it right up. It's like he's emotionally eating because all the excitement. Well, whatever. We start over the next day with Moose. But if you guys have that, people come over, things are happening. Oh my God, you get swept up in the moment and you start eating, fine. If you can, just note what time that was. Oh, geez, that was 10 o'clock or that was 9 o'clock. See how far you can fast the next day. See if you can get in that 16 hours. So maybe you don't open your window at 11, maybe it's 1 o'clock. Okay. So just bump it out later the next day if you can. If you can't, no big deal. Okay, Christy, what do you want to share?
I just wanted to say, I started my own accountability thing. I'm a bit of a spreadsheet nerd. And so I put down on my spreadsheet everything that I want to accomplish in a day that makes it a perfect day. So, as an example, I tracked, did I meditate? Did I plank? Thank you, Lynn Day. Did I do squats? Thank you, Lynn Day. I have a sauna at home. I don't do that every day, but what else? Did I have my shake? Did I do my cleanse? Did I take my vitamins? Did I moisturize my skin? Because I skip that all the time. Did I use my water pick? Did I use my sonic toothbrush? I know this sounds so nerdy. Did I massage my face? Because I do that every day. Did I do Kegels? Did I drink wine? I get minus points for that, but I keep track. What was my sleep score? Did I play my guitar? Did I need to take Tylenol for anything? Did I avoid playing games on my phone? Did I do my chin exercises? And did I read a book that helped me further myself? And what's my weight? I don't track my weight every day. You would not believe how inspiring. Oh, and my steps. And this up until 2 days ago, I've averaged 12,000 steps a day for the entire year so far. So and it's because I track it, and what you observe changes, or so just wanted to put that out there. It's really powerful.
I love that, Christy. And people are asking, can you share the sheet for those of us who are not
Sure.
designers? Like it hurts me inside to think about how hard that would be to create that. So if you've created a sheet and you can share it in our group, that would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. If you want, I'll just share everybody. Well, yeah, I'll do that. It's a link to a Google sheet. I'll just create a blank sheet and you can fill it out for yourself. Oh, and I keep track of how many times I cycle.
I
in
love
my
it.
business.
Yeah. And money too. Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks, Christy. The world needs a mix of everybody, right? We need the spreadsheeters. We need the fun. Not that spreadsheet people aren't fun. Maybe, sorry, I take that back. But you know what I mean, Christy. We need the
I
spreadsheet
do.
people. Thank you. Oh gosh. All right. So reading something positive and motivating before bed is a fantastic, yes, and practice. Thanks, Jen and Beverly, right? The chin exercises, maybe you can share those. That's wonderful in our group. So guys, let's really engage in our group, support each other, share with us what you're doing, check into whatever group you're a part of, because we want to really encourage you. Chlorophyll, wow. Christy is fun and a spreadsheeter. Yes, I retract my comment about spreadsheeter people not being fun. Anyhow, okay, does anyone have any questions about the fasting challenge? Eve.
I get really bored with water. Can we add the chlorophyll to the water? Is that calories too?
You
Is
know,
there anything we can add to the water?
I don't know, Camille. I don't know the ingredients in the chlorophyll, so.
Okay.
If it's what I'm thinking it is, I think it would be fine.
Yeah.
It's just drops, isn't it, Eve?
I was just thinking of the greens.
Yeah, I would wait on, honestly, if you want to make your life easy,
Okay.
eat within your eating window, because it will, even a little bit will create a craving in you. Even if there's a little bit of carb or a little bit of stevia, it will ignite your hunger hormones. It's going to make it more challenging for you. So during your eating window, yeah, eat your greens, do your collagen, do whatever you want, but keep it in that eating window. Okay. And 16 and 8 is our ideal eating window.
Camille, I'd love your opinion on adding just even lemon, even though it's sweet, or lemon essential oil to water for flavor.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Really, it's virtually 0 calories and it's so alkalizing for us. So I would say that's a go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And the cleanse we're going to start in our eating window, the cleanse for life at 11 o'clock. Collagen bone broth, which is, or any kind of bone broth, if you were really struggling, you could have that in the morning. So I know the temptation tonight is to be like celebration time, like let's eat into the night because we're starting tomorrow. I know how brains operate because hello. So, but I'm going to challenge you to, if you want to make your morning easier, close down your eating window earlier tonight. If you want to have a beautiful feast and a nice dinner, which, you know, wonderful, but try not to eat too late into the night tonight because it'll make your morning more challenging.
Yeah, remember that leptin and gremlin. I love that name. They will act up in the morning if you overdo it, and it'll just make it so much harder. So make it easy on yourself.
And Crystal's asking, does 12 to 8? No, there's no difference. You guys decide what your eating window is and what your fasting window is. And the cool thing about fasting is you're going to really notice the difference between a craving and hunger, because you're going to be left with cravings and a desire, which is different than physical hunger, right? And even if you experience physical hunger, you're going to be okay, as you guys know. It's just the self-talk getting through that, right? And it's just getting through it. But you'll notice, like, wow, I really have these cravings. Like, I really feel like I want to bite something, choose something, get away from a feeling. And that's just like an emotional desire to eat. And, you know, I'm just going to invite you to just ride that out and just be really curious with whatever that feeling is. You might find that you have some anxious feelings, right? It might be excited and joyful feelings. And we've really associated with food with a lot of our emotions. So we're going to have to break some of those patterns. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but every time you have a desire or a craving to eat and you don't buy into it, you break the power of that down a little bit. So every day when you don't give in to the craving or you don't give in to that emotional desire to eat, you break that, right? So Gina's asking 2 capfuls of Ionics and 1 ounce. So amp powder, amp drink. Yeah, I mean, so again, inside and the ear, you could do, if you want to end your eating window with Cleanse for Life, Julie, you can. Ionics, at least 1 ounce a day. If you want to do 2, you can. You guys make it your own, but eat it within that little eating window. And feel free to ask questions in the group. Be curious with those emotions that come up. And just, I promise you that you can experience and feel an emotion and it'll pass through. It's about 45 seconds of discomfort. It's like a wave. It's like 45 seconds of feeling uncomfortable and that desire to eat. And then it's gone in 45 seconds. So maybe grab your water, grab some, like buy yourself a, some club sodas or Pellegrino that has no sugar in it. Have those in a wine glass with some ice and some lime, and you can really treat yourself that way. So, okay, we got a little image, gremlin, I love it. Cutting out even a glass of wine at dinner as tomorrow, that will be a challenge. Yeah, I mean, if you want to have a glass of wine in your eating window, you can do that, right? We're really going for sustainability here. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm excited. I'm going to invite you, take your measurements tomorrow morning, especially around your waist. The first place you're going to notice a loss of inches is around your waist. You're going to feel that right away. So take your measurements and you can weigh yourself if you want to, if it's not for weight loss, assess your mood, your sleep, all those things. And we'll be really curious what happens in 2 weeks. Okay.
I'll just add, that's such an important part, Erin, is to make sure you mark down where you're starting from so that in 2 weeks you can really look back, because you may actually feel in 14 days, I don't really notice a big difference. But when you look back, maybe a photo you took or something you journaled or inches you took, you might be surprised. So make sure you benchmark tonight or tomorrow morning. Super, super important.
Especially your energy through the day, like assess on a scale of 1 to 10, how much energy do I feel? How much like vitality, like my mood, get a snapshot of that. It's the most important thing I think I did when I started Isogenics 10 years ago. I wrote down on a scale of 1 to 10, my mood, my energy, my sleep, everything. And I looked back and thought, oh my gosh, wow, what a difference. So I'm excited for you guys. And keep sharing your results and go and find an accountability partner. Does that sound good? Awesome. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye. We'll check in the group.